We have compiled a list of 7 things that typically Garifuna people don't do.
They don't sit with their back to the door.
Okay, why?
Because they don't trust nobody. They always want to see what's coming towards them.
So they don't trust nobody. That's why they don't sit with their back to the door.
They don't sit with their back to the door.
They don't sit with the back to the door, okay? What is the second thing that Garifuna people don't do in general? It doesn't have to be from Guatemala, from Belize, from Nicaragua. It could be from the diaspora.
Usually they don't eat food before smelling it.
They usually smell the food for what reason, though?
To inspect for poison.
To make sure that it's not poison.
Yeah.
And this goes back to the history of Garifuna mistrusting the British, right?
Yeah, because they were always trying to take them out.
The British were always trying to take them out.
Trying to kill them.
And we could add back actually part of the story of the food that was given to them on the journey from Baliso to Roatan.
Yeah, when they put arsenic in their food in attempts to kill them because they didn't have any intention on the Garifuna people actually surviving that voyage. They wanted to kill them, assassinate them.
Wow.
Or whatever.
That was a good one. What is the third thing that Garifuna people don't do? They always are polite and greet people every time they see each other.
But that's not what they don't do. That's your categorizing what they do.
So they are not rude.
Well, some
Garifuna
are.
people are polite.
Some are. Now these days, the things that Garifuna people don't do is they don't leave a mess because they're clean people. They take pride. They take pride in leaving their area clean, whoever they're at. They don't like to be known as dirty people. So typically they don't leave a mess. They clean up after themselves.
So a good example would be when there is a social gathering. After the social gathering, they start picking up and cleaning up the place to make sure they leave it as clean as how they found it.
So, yeah. So what they don't do is they don't leave a mess. At least they don't leave their mess. They'll clean up around their own area.
Okay.
Somebody else may leave a mess, but, Garifuna people don't leave a mess.
Okay. And number 4, Garifuna people don't do?
Garifuna people don't let things go easy.
What do you mean?
I mean, it's like they remember. It may not be that whole, forgive and forget. They may forgive, but definitely won't forget. And, they make sure that it's like, yeah, if you did them wrong in the past, they're going to always keep one eye on you because, again, the lack of trust. Because if you, misbehave with them one time, you'll probably misbehave with them a second time. So, yeah, they don't let things go.
So they hold grudges?
Not necessarily grudge. I just say they're mindful of not having people who've probably already harmed them in the past to continue to harm them in the future. So I just think they just kind of keep their guards up around people. So that's what I mean by they don't let things go. They're very, again, wary of people.
Okay. And number 5, Garifuna people don't do? They don't eat fish without having to clean it up with lemon.
You know what? I would say that's a general in all of the food that we cook. We clean our food properly. So one thing that we don't do is that we're not going to just cook any meat, whether it's fish, poultry, or anything, without cleaning it up. I mean, here in the United States, you could tell when the meat, poultry, or whatever has been cleaned or not, and cleaned properly. So what we won't do is we will not cook unless we've thoroughly, cleaned whatever meat, even the rice and beans that we're preparing. We're used to cleaning, washing our food before we prepare it.
Give me an example of cleaning the meat.
You have to, typically when I clean my meat, it's a two-step process. I usually clean my meat out with vinegar, and take out any of those, like the blood and anything like that, any of those residual, things that are left on the meat. If it's poultry, take off any of the excess. If they sometimes have like feathers, make sure you pluck that off, and take out any of the veins out of the fish. That's the one step, cleaning it up with the vinegar. And then the second step, I always do a second step of cleaning with just lemon, just clean it off with lemon. It's an extra step, but it really does make the food, to me, taste more cleaner, and it helps to prepare it faster.
Okay. So. And is there a number 6?
You know what? There's so much, but it's hard to think backwards in regards to what they don't do in contrast to what they do.
When it comes to love, what are some of the things they don't do in a relationship?
Well, they don't freely share their partners. Garifuna people, I think tend to be monogamous, and, they don't have open marriages. That's one thing for sure, so yeah, family is important to Garifuna people, and yeah.
So they stick to one spouse?
It traditionally, yes, they really do.
Okay. And is there a number 7 that Garifuna people don't do? We talked about food. We talked about behavior and mannerisms. We talked about greetings. We talked about, what else did we talk about? That Garifuna don't do? Oh, sitting with their back towards the door. Mm-hmm. What is number 7? Would you consider number 7?
I would say traditionally, but it's changed, but Garifuna people never used to participate in politics, and that's from history, because every time they got caught up in politics, they were usually on the wrong side of it, and, they often paid the price by, again, with, let's just say, with a price on their head. So typically, Garifuna do not, participate in politics, but here, living in the United States and living anywhere that you live in, it's important that you get involved in politics, local.
So the good example, a clear example of this behavior is what happened in Honduras, right in San Juan de Urugubuti, when the Garifuna were fighting on the side of the wrong government, a part of the government, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, they didn't know it was the wrong side when they first got involved. And, since they made that decision to get involved in politics, when the opposing side won, it was a price on their head, and they too were sentenced to be slaughtered and were chased out of Honduras for a period of time, and they ended up in Guatemala and Belize for their safety because of, what happened over there. So typically, Garifuna people do not get involved in politics, but again, it's changing, and it's changing pretty good because they do need to get involved in politics.
And if I recall, it was in the hands of a man called Caquita. Caquita was the name of the man that killed families in San Juan de Urugubuti in Honduras.
Yeah, he killed many people, and
in front of the Catholic Church.
In front of the Catholic Church, even though it's something that most people don't want to be reminded about, because as you know, majority of Garifuna people are Catholic. But it's you can't be afraid of the truth, because we're not saying that the Catholic Church killed the people. We're just stating the fact that they were massacred in front of a Catholic church. It's okay to say that because that's what actually happened. So
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for your time. I think we have good information. Subscribe, like, and share. Suscríbete, dale like y comparte. Donate to this project by scanning this code from Cash App. Also, if you don't have Cash App, we take PayPal. We also have a learning tool called the Garifuna Language Workbook, which is available on Amazon. Look it up under Garifuna Language Workbook.